According to an auto industry report, Jaguar registered just 49 cars in Europe during the entire month of April. Guys, that's down 97.5% compared to last year, where they sold nearly 2,000 cars.
Jaguar, once the pride of British luxury motoring, is facing an unprecedented crisis that has sent shockwaves through the automotive world. Sales have collapsed by a catastrophic 97% in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the same period last year, with some dealerships reporting zero, yes, you heard that right, zero new vehicles sold in an entire month. This isn't just a typical market correction or temporary setback, it's a full-blown extinction event for a brand that has survived world wars, recessions, and multiple ownership changes. Industry analysts are using terms like death spiral and terminal decline to describe what's happening. Dealerships across America are desperately slashing prices by up to $30,000 on remaining inventory, offering 0% financing for 84 months, and bundling in years of free maintenance. Yet customers are still walking away. But despite these unprecedented warning signs and financial red flags, some consumers are still inexplicably signing on the dotted line for new Jaguars, seemingly oblivious to the financial catastrophe they're walking into. You might assume this sales collapse is simply about outdated products or the industry-wide shift toward electrification, but that surface-level explanation misses the truly alarming reality. What's actually happening involves a perfect storm of self-inflicted wounds. A catastrophically confusing marketing campaign that became an internet laughingstock, a radical decision to abandon all internal combustion engines for ultra-expensive EVs, and the deliberate alienation of their core customer base. What's even more shocking is the stark contrast with Jaguar's former partner brand. While Jaguar sales have virtually disappeared, Land Rover is experiencing record sales in 2025, the highest in their history, despite sharing similar pricing, market positioning, and even underlying technology. This divergence reveals that Jaguar's collapse isn't about market conditions or broader industry trends, it's about spectacularly bad management decisions that have systematically destroyed a century-old automotive icon right before our eyes. What's really happening behind Jaguar's catastrophic sales collapse? Why are industry insiders warning that buying a new Jaguar now might be the worst automotive decision possible? And most importantly, what does this mean for current owners and the unfortunate few still considering purchasing these vehicles? Let's dive into the disturbing reality that Jaguar's marketing department and desperate dealers don't want you to know. The sales collapse. Numbers don't lie. The magnitude of Jaguar's decline is difficult to overstate. According to the latest industry sales data, Jaguar moved just 823 vehicles in the entire United States during the first quarter of 2025, down from 27,654 during the same period in 2024. This 97% collapse is unprecedented for an established luxury brand that hasn't declared bankruptcy. The situation becomes even more alarming when examined on a model-by-model basis. The F-Pace SUV, once Jaguar's bestseller, saw sales drop from 14,392 units to just 416, a 97.1% decline. The E-Pace recorded just 147 sales nationwide, down 96.8%. Most shockingly, the flagship I-Pace electric SUV sold just 39 units across all of America, a vehicle that Jaguar had positioned as its future. Individual dealership reports paint an even bleaker picture. According to dealer financial filings, 28% of Jaguar dealerships in the United States sold zero new vehicles in March 2025. Another 42% sold fewer than 5 units. These are businesses with millions invested in facilities, inventory, and specialized equipment, now moving fewer vehicles than some independent used car lots. The financial markets have responded accordingly. Tata Motors stock has plummeted 68% since January as investors recognize the existential threat to its luxury subsidiary. Bond rating agencies have downgraded Jaguar Land Rover debt to junk status, with Moody's citing unsustainable sales decline and questionable viability of the Jaguar brand in their evaluation. What makes these numbers particularly alarming is their acceleration. This isn't a gradual decline. It's a cliff-edge collapse that suggests something catastrophic has occurred behind the scenes that the public doesn't fully understand. The marketing disaster: how Jaguar became an internet joke. A significant contributor to Jaguar's collapse was a marketing campaign so baffling and ineffective that it became an internet meme for all the wrong reasons. In late 2024, Jaguar released a high-budget commercial that was heavily teased as revolutionary, a campaign that would redefine luxury and create a new conversation around the brand. What they delivered instead was 2 minutes of confusing, abstract imagery that left viewers completely perplexed about what they were watching. The commercial featured people in avant-garde clothing moving through minimalist spaces, occasionally touching surfaces that might have been car parts, but with no actual vehicles shown. The narration consisted of vague phrases about redefining tomorrow and the courage to transform, without any concrete information about products, features, or value propositions. The public reaction was swift and brutal. Social media platforms exploded with parodies, with users creating AI-generated versions showing the models in the commercial fighting each other or interacting with household objects in the same pretentious style. Automotive journalists published scathing critique, with one prominent reviewer calling it the automotive equivalent of the emperor's new clothes. A hollow exercise in self-indulgence that tells us nothing about why anyone should consider a Jaguar. What made this marketing disaster particularly damaging was Jaguar's response, or lack thereof. Rather than clarifying their message or pivoting to more product-focused communication, the company doubled down, suggesting that those who didn't understand the commercial weren't sophisticated enough to appreciate the brand's new direction. This elitist stance alienated even loyal Jaguar enthusiasts and automotive journalists who had previously supported the brand. The failed campaign wasn't just an isolated misstep, it was the public manifestation of a broader strategic confusion within Jaguar. The company had spent over $50 million on this rebranding effort, only to create widespread mockery and confusion about what Jaguar even stands for in today's market. The marketing firm responsible has since been fired, but the damage to Jaguar's market position and public perception has proven nearly impossible to repair. The all-electric gamble, abandoning a century of heritage. Behind Jaguar's collapsing sales lies a radical strategic pivot that has left both dealers and customers in limbo. In 2021, Jaguar announced plans to become an all-electric luxury brand by 2025, abandoning their entire internal combustion engine lineup regardless of profitability or customer demand. This extreme approach stands in stark contrast to most luxury manufacturers who are pursuing a gradual transition with hybrid models and parallel development of both traditional and electric powertrains. Even Tesla, the EV market leader, took years to build market acceptance before major manufacturers followed. Jaguar's decision to abruptly abandon their core products has created a situation where potential customers see the current lineup as lame duck models with questionable future support. The timing of this announcement created an immediate sales problem. By publicly declaring their intention to abandon traditional engines years before having new electric products ready, Jaguar effectively told consumers that their current inventory was obsolete by the manufacturer's own admission. This strategic miscalculation has left dealers with showrooms full of vehicles that the parent company has already declared technologically outdated. Even more concerning for potential buyers is the price positioning of the upcoming electric Jaguars. Industry sources indicate that the new models will start between $120,000 and $200,000, far above the brand's current pricing and pushing them into territory dominated by established ultra-luxury brands like Bentley and Aston Martin. This represents a fundamental misunderstanding of Jaguar's market position and brand equity. The contrast with Land Rover, formerly paired with Jaguar under the same corporate umbrella, could not be more stark. While Jaguar has committed to this all-or-nothing electric gamble, Land Rover has pursued a measured approach, gradually introducing hybrid and electric options while continuing to develop their successful internal combustion models. The result? Record sales for Land Rover in 2025 while Jaguar faces potential extinction. This divergence is particularly telling because both brands share similar underlying technology, supplier relationships, and corporate resources. The difference lies not in market conditions or technological limitations, but in strategic decision-making that has taken two similar luxury brands in completely opposite directions. The demographic disaster, rejecting loyal customers. Perhaps the most baffling aspect of Jaguar's collapse is their deliberate decision to alienate their traditional customer base before establishing a new one. In a series of industry interviews and internal communications that later became public, Jaguar executives explicitly stated they no longer wanted their traditional demographic, described by one executive as old white people, and instead wanted to attract younger, more diverse luxury buyers. While diversifying a customer base is a reasonable business goal, Jaguar's approach was remarkably tone-deaf. Rather than expanding their appeal while retaining loyal customers, they actively signaled to their existing client base that they were no longer wanted. This messaging permeated dealer training, marketing materials, and product planning, creating a situation where the brand was effectively rejecting the very customers who had supported it for decades. The practical impact of this strategy became immediately apparent in sales data. Jaguar's customer retention rate, the percentage of existing owners who purchase another Jaguar, collapsed from 28% in 2023 to just 4% in early 2025. This represents one of the most dramatic loyalty collapses ever recorded in the luxury automotive sector. What makes this strategy particularly perplexing is that Jaguar failed to establish appeal with their targeted new demographic before alienating their existing one. Consumer sentiment surveys among luxury buyers under 45 show Jaguar ranking near the bottom in consideration, with key metrics like brand relevance and purchase intention actually declining after the new marketing campaign launched. This self-inflicted demographic crisis has left Jaguar in a perilous position, rejected by their traditional buyers while failing to connect with new ones. The result is a brand that currently appeals to almost no one, explaining the catastrophic 97% sales decline that threatens the very existence of the company. The reliability nightmare. What dealers won't tell you. At the heart of Jaguar's sales implosion lies a reliability crisis of staggering proportions. While luxury vehicles are rarely at the top of reliability surveys, Jaguar's recent models have exhibited failure rates that shock even experienced mechanics. According to extended warranty claims data, 2023 to 2025 Jaguar models require major electrical system repairs at over 5 times the rate of other luxury vehicles. The problems extend far beyond minor inconveniences. They include complete electrical system failures, non-functional climate control systems, and infotainment screens that go completely dark while driving. The F-Pace, Jaguar's volume model, has exhibited particularly alarming issues with its powertrain control modules. Warranty claims data shows that approximately 22% of 2024 F-Pace models have required ECU replacement within the first 18 months of ownership, a repair that costs approximately $4,200 and often leaves vehicles inoperable for weeks due to part shortages. Even more concerning are the transmission issues plaguing recent models. The ZF 8-speed automatic, generally reliable in other manufacturers' vehicles, experiences failure rates in Jaguars substantially higher than in other applications. Extended warranty companies report transmission replacement rates for 2023 to 2025 Jaguars at 3.7 times the luxury segment average, with repair costs averaging $8,700. Consumer reporting organizations have documented these issues extensively. In the latest reliability surveys, Jaguar ranks dead last among all automotive brands, with problem rates 340% higher than the industry average. Owner satisfaction metrics show equally alarming trends, with 63% of recent Jaguar purchasers stating they would definitely not buy another Jaguar, the worst owner loyalty metrics ever recorded for a luxury brand. This reliability crisis is particularly relevant given Jaguar's planned transition to all-electric vehicles. The brand's consistent inability to engineer reliable electrical systems in their conventional vehicles raises serious questions about their capability to produce dependable electric vehicles, which rely entirely on electrical systems for every aspect of operation. The depreciation disaster. Financial suicide in automotive form. Perhaps the most immediate concern for anyone considering a Jaguar purchase is the unprecedented depreciation these vehicles are experiencing. What's happening goes beyond normal luxury car depreciation. It's a financial bloodbath that's destroying owners' equity at record rates. According to wholesale auction data, one-year-old Jaguar F-Pace models are currently selling for just 42% of their original MSRP, meaning a vehicle that costs $70,000 new is worth approximately $29,400 after just 1 year. This represents the fastest first-year depreciation ever recorded for a luxury SUV not involved in a major recall or manufacturer bankruptcy. The situation is even worse for the I-Pace electric SUV. Current auction values show one-year-old examples selling for just 38% of original MSRP. This catastrophic depreciation translates to approximately $54,000 in lost value in just 12 months for the original purchaser, enough to buy a brand new BMW X3 with cash. Financial analysts attribute this depreciation to a perfect storm of factors: reliability concerns, the unclear future of the brand, and parts availability issues that make these vehicles increasingly risky propositions for used buyers. The supply of used Jaguars has also spiked as owners attempt to exit their vehicles before values fall further, creating a glut of inventory that drives prices down further. For perspective on how unusual this situation is, consider that a 3-year-old Jaguar F-Type sports car now has a lower market value than a 3-year-old Toyota Camry, despite costing more than twice as much when new. This isn't normal depreciation, it's a market signaling that these vehicles represent extraordinary financial risk. The implications of Jaguar's situation extend far beyond disappointing sales figures or corporate strategy concerns. For current and potential owners, the stakes are immediate and financial. Current Jaguar owners face a rapidly deteriorating situation. As more dealers close or reduce Jaguar operations, service options become more limited and potentially more expensive. Parts availability issues are likely to worsen rather than improve as supply chains continue contracting in response to falling sales. And the accelerating depreciation creates a difficult dilemma: absorb massive financial losses by selling now, or risk even greater losses and potential maintenance nightmares by holding on. For anyone considering a new Jaguar purchase, the financial risks cannot be overstated. Even with the massive discounts currently available, these vehicles represent extraordinary financial hazards. A new F-Pace purchased today could reasonably be expected to lose 60 to 70% of its value within 24 months based on current depreciation trajectories, a financial hit of $40,000 to $50,000 on a typically equipped model. Beyond the immediate financial concerns lies the very real possibility of Jaguar's complete withdrawal from the U.S. market or radical restructuring that orphans current models. Such events would likely trigger further depreciation, parts availability challenges, and potential service deserts where owners must travel hundreds of miles for qualified repairs. Here's what makes Jaguar's situation truly extraordinary. This isn't just another case of a struggling automotive brand, it's a self-inflicted collapse that defies business logic at every turn. First, they announced the abandonment of their core product lineup years before having replacements ready. Then they launched a marketing campaign so confusing it became an internet punchline. Next, they explicitly rejected their existing customer base before establishing appeal with a new one. Finally, they positioned their future products at price points that would require competing with established ultra-luxury brands that Jaguar has never successfully challenged. Any one of these decisions might have been survivable in isolation. Together, they've created a perfect storm that has reduced one of the automotive world's most storied brands to a cautionary tale in business schools. What's particularly telling is the contrast with Land Rover, a brand that shared corporate ownership with Jaguar for years and faces the same market conditions, yet is experiencing record sales while Jaguar collapses. This creates an uncomfortable reality. The only people buying new Jaguars in today's market are those who don't understand what they're getting into. With information readily available about the brand's strategic chaos, reliability issues, and catastrophic depreciation, making an informed decision to purchase a new Jaguar in 2025 is virtually impossible. The only logical explanation for continuing sales, however minimal, is that these buyers lack critical information about the risk they're assuming. Jaguar's 97% sales collapse isn't just another automotive industry story, it's a warning sign that should prevent any informed consumer from considering these vehicles at any price. The combination of catastrophic marketing failures, strategic chaos, reliability issues, and unprecedented depreciation creates a risk profile that no discount can justify. This isn't about brand snobbery or trivial preferences, it's about avoiding a financial decision that data clearly shows to be extraordinarily risky. When vehicles are losing 60% of their value in a year, when the manufacturer publicly rejects its existing customer base, and when the brand's future direction changes with each new press release, no luxury badge or premium features can compensate for the financial and practical realities. For current Jaguar owners, the situation demands immediate attention and potentially difficult decisions about whether to exit now or risk greater losses later. For anyone still considering a new Jaguar, the message from market data, reliability statistics, and industry analysts is unanimous. There are simply no circumstances under which purchasing these vehicles makes financial sense in 2025. Are you a current Jaguar owner? I'd like to hear about your experience in the comments below. Are you seeing the same service issues we've documented, or has your ownership experience been different? Also, if you've recently considered purchasing a Jaguar but decided against it, what factors influenced your decision? Don't forget to subscribe for more automotive industry insights that go beyond the marketing hype, including our upcoming video on how to identify warning signs of brands in trouble before they become public knowledge. The automotive market is changing rapidly, and staying informed is the best protection against costly mistakes.